What's up, everyone? Carmen Denisco here, the Shark Tank Effect. We are rolling out this show. Let me bring on the host with the most, Mr. Christopher Guerrero. Hey, Chris, what's up, man?
Carmine, how's it going?
Oh, man,
Hey,
this is awesome.
it's
Super,
getting
super
it's getting
excited.
it's getting hot, baby. Right? The season is here. The Shark Tank Effect show is ready to be launched.
The sharks
Pretty
are
exciting.
biting.
It is. Starting next week, right? We're going to do an intro this week. Next week, we're going to launch it with our guest today,
Yep.
Kelley Higney, the bug bite thing, which
What?
if you don't know about this product, you need to know about this product, especially with the season now, right? I'm hearing a rumor, Kelley, welcome,
Yeah.
that Florida's getting a little hot right now.
Florida mosquitoes are unfortunately in full swing. I've had to use the product 3 times in the last 2 days already. So that's when I know season officially has started.
We've had crazy weather, right? We've had cold weather,
Yeah.
hot weather. Now it's starting to really normalize. And you guys are getting a little bit hotter than us in Greenville. But this is when
Yeah.
the bugs all start coming out. And that beautiful
Yeah.
little bug on the right behind you on that wall.
Yeah, my big mosquito mascot back there.
Oh, man. What an exciting story. I love this story. But, Chris, before we jump into this, give us a little bit of rundown what you got going on in the next several months, and then we'll jump in and talk with Kelley. Like I said, what an amazing story we
Yeah,
have
so
for
you know that
listeners.
we're going to be launching a really big program. I'm going to keep it kind of like low key for now, but it's going to really help the inventor community find places to really launch their product, right? Get vetted, get some good feedback, good education, whether they're trying to launch it or license it. It's going to be a whole new platform, and we're going to tie it in with some of the best people in the world on the largest platforms and stages in the world. And I think it's exciting because we're building it now, and we're going to launch it with some great talent. And I think it's going to change the market. It really is. So I will keep it at that. But of course, we got all the national shows coming up with the Cosmo Pro. We've got Shark Tank Reunion going on in July. We've got the Super Zoo. We've got the Toy Fair in September. Super Zoo is in August. So the whole summer is already mapped out. I'm actually going to go visit. I'm the chef too, Scott and Lisa, and help them with their manufacturing. So the next 4 months are going to be really exciting times for all of us. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
So with that, let's talk about the bug bite thing. So the Shark Tank Effect. Let's talk about how Kelley got started, because man, the story is amazing. And then we'll really talk a little bit about Kelley and how she got started, the product, and then the effects of Shark Tank after she walked off that stage.
Thank you guys so much for the kind intro. And I'm so happy to be here and all the exciting things, Chris, that you have in the works. I think it's so important for the inventor community or anybody starting a product or a brand to have a reliable resource to go to. They're not going to feel like they're getting scammed. There's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of people that make claims that they're experts. So having an organization that you can trust that's backed by a lot of people makes my heart so happy, just being involved in the entrepreneurial community. So
yes,
kudos for that. So my story plays off of that, right? So I began my entrepreneurial journey started back in 2013. I got the unique opportunity to relocate my family from San Diego, California to South Florida. I'm third generation female entrepreneur in my family, but I was not working for my family at the time. So I got the unique opportunity to start learning the family-owned business. That's why we relocated. And very quickly after I started working out here, our youngest daughter, Leah, she was just 6 months old at the time, started getting attacked by mosquitoes. All of us were getting attacked and suffering, but specifically Leah would get one bite and it would turn into a golf ball sized well. And we were constantly finding ourselves at the doctor's office on some type of antibiotic cream or steroid treatment just to keep her reactions comfortable. So as a mom, I was desperate. I was putting, creams that were full of chemicals on her 10 times plus a day to just keep her reactions, to keep her out of the doctor's office. I was looking at home remedies. I tried every over-the-counter product in the United States that I could find, and nothing was working for us. So I started doing some research, and I actually came across a little-known suction tool that was being sold through some industrial first aid kits overseas. And I thought, there's absolutely no way that's going to work. The premise behind it actually made sense, so that's why I was willing to give it a chance. The premise was, when an insect bites or stings you, what they're doing is they're actually injecting their saliva or venom just under the surface of the skin. That's causing your own body to react. So the suction tool, if used properly, as soon as you notice the bite or sting, it actually suctions out the insect saliva or venom from the bite or sting, so you stop producing those reactions altogether. So no way that's going to work, or it would be everywhere here in the United States. Took a chance, ordered one in, and it was a complete game changer for me, and most importantly, my daughter. She was, her doctor's visits were eliminated. She started asking me for the product, hinting at it because she knew it was bringing her relief. I started using the product. I started sharing it with friends and family, and everybody was getting very similar results. Could not get it out of my head, and that's where people say the entrepreneurial itch. It just doesn't leave your head, and you keep thinking and thinking, like, why is this not here? What can be done with this? It can help a lot of people. So I tracked down the factory, the owner that was making the product, and I pitched him my idea, and I said, everybody in the United States needs one of these. This works amazing. And at the time, I ordered just a very small sample batch of product, and I started selling them at my daughter's bake sales and farmers markets. And I thought this was going to be a side hobby. I was just trying to help people get feedback. And once I started realizing I was getting a line outside of my car door during non-bake sale days, is when I realized I was onto something, and there was a bigger need. And the feedback I was getting was life-changing for a lot of people, like it was myself and my daughter. So I went back to the owner of the product, and I said, I want to blow this up here. I want to make this my full-time job. So at the time, he granted me exclusive distribution rights for the entire United States. I branded the product Bug Bite Thing, and I launched it. Started selling them at bake sales, farmers markets. In order to invest in my first big batch of inventory, my husband and I made the extremely difficult decision to sell our house, which was terrifying.
I bet.
And I began teaching myself social media marketing, which I had no experience in. I was taking Udemy courses, and I started with $10 a day and kept repurposing it through social media. And for me, it was important to reach the consumer because I was that customer. I was just trying to give other people that same relief that we were experiencing. And by doing that, it started to gain a lot of traction in my local community. So I had a lot of people. It started branching out in my own community, and there was a Mother's Day. It was Mother's Day weekend, and I was being talked about in a mom's group, and a news reporter happened to see the article saying, "The bug lady, where can I find her? I need one of those suction tools." And they ended up DMing me and asked if they could be at my rental house in 2 hours. And I was freaking out. I had never done an interview in my life. So I'm like packing, and I had packing stations in my kitchen, by the way. So do this full interview. At this point in time, I had a second child. She was brand new. That's my Lillian. So I had Leah and Lillian. I'm a new mom. I'm running this business I sold my house for out of my kitchen. And then the news shows up. And she comes out. I'll be forever grateful. Luli Ortiz from CBS 12 News at the time. And they did a whole interview. And the next day, it was syndicated to over 30 news stations in the United States. And I sold through all of the inventory I had sold my house for within a matter of a week. And that was my first real taste that people just needed to understand what the product was, what it did, and how it could help them. And by offering that 100% money back guarantee from the beginning, I just wanted people to try it. People that were skeptical, people that were not sure about it. I was that confident because of the feedback I was already getting. So I continued to take my own community that was growing organically by itself, where one customer would tell 10 more people about it. And that actually, one of my social posts caught the attention of a Shark Tank producer who encouraged me to audition for the show. So that was pretty life-changing at that time. I was in my rental house. We had recently just moved into a house up the road with a larger garage, thinking I was going to be able to operate this out of a larger garage. And then Shark Tank happened. So I wasn't going to go on the show myself. I was terrified. So I called my mother back in, who was on her way out of retirement from her, our family-owned business. And she went on the show with me. And at that point, it was just absolutely surreal. The Shark Tank, situation, Chris, is just it's real. It's terrifying. There's so many emotions that go into it. My mom and myself over prepped everything. I watched every single Shark Tank episode possible before. I took notes. I was that girl. So we went out on stage. We did our pitch. We were so fortunate to get offers from all the sharks. They started teaming up with each other, so we were under a lot of pressure. And then Lori Grenier whips out her golden ticket, which she gives out one time per season. And that's who I really wanted to partner with right from the get-go. She gave us exactly what we went in asking for, so we ended up striking a deal with Lori.
It's what an amazing journey. Think about this, right? So you sold your house, you have a brand new baby, you move into a new rental. Now you've got a news station at your house doing interviews. It gets syndicated. Like it all happened right away. So
boom.
Like how were you feeling, right? And then you get called from Shark Tank.
I still can't process, because even after Shark Tank, the Shark Tank effect took it to a whole nother level that I could even fathom. So now I'm going from my garage to a 10,000 square foot warehouse, having my hairdresser's daughter be my only help running all departments. Now I have to establish a team and departments very quickly, build company roadmaps. We went from 0 to over 30 employees within like 6 months. It was insane. The first year after Shark Tank, we were in 25,000 retail stores and 25 countries. And it's just been growing ever since. Now we're fortunate enough now we've branched into international. We're in over 35 countries. And, our retail presence and online community and our bug bite thing family is just growing and asking us for more products that we're going to be launching under the brand, which is really exciting. So it's I haven't slowed down, to answer your question.
No, right. So tell me your immediate emotional feeling when you walked off the stage of Shark Tank. Like were you like in shock? Were you like?
Well, I will never live this down, because if you actually watch my original episode, I'm crying when I come off. I'm walking down the carpet. I'm going, did this really just happen? Because I'm definitely in full-blown shock mode. And then, of course, my infamous words that I had to say was holy moly out of everything, because I'm so engulfed with emotion. And of course, the one thing comes out of my mouth is holy moly. I
could have been worse. They could have had to bleep you.
It's true. But then, of course, they use that in the trailer to promote my episode and then other episodes throughout the season. So anyway, love you, Shark Tank, for that. But it was real, right? That was my real raw emotion. I was proud of myself, because I didn't think I would ever experience anything like this in my life, going on a national TV show. I was wearing yoga pants and an oversized shirt with my hair in a bun every day. And now I'm bringing a product to market to the masses on a national television show and partnering with a celebrity business partner who knows what she's doing. Right. So it was a lot of emotion, a lot of relief, a lot of shock. It definitely took, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks for everything to really sink in on what had just happened to me. Between flying out to LA, to pitching, to landing a deal, to beginning, our due diligence process, and then subsequently being in season and growing my business and knowing what's going to come from Shark Tank. So lot of emotion. Yeah.
So this truly is an American dream, right? This is what people who are entrepreneurs or inventors really want to do, right? They want to help people. They want to grow a business. So this happened pretty quick, right? So now you come out of Shark Tank. now you go back to your everyday life, right? It's like you go from all this preparation, your emotions are high, you come off. Now you sit down, you look at your mom, and what happens? You say, "Oh my God,
what do we do?
now we're starting a real business. What do we do?"
What do we
talk
do?
about that a little, because that's even more real, right? The realization of getting prepared to be successful on the show, it happening, then you walking out now going, okay, now we have to deliver.
Yeah. And talk about pressure, right? That's one of the most, and a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to this, the pressure of just having all eyes on you. You know, they're looking to you, right? At this point, they're all looking, what's your next move, Kelley? What are you going to do? How are you going to play off the momentum from this? And that was a lot of pressure and terrifying. I knew as soon as we aired, I did not want to let our brand not continue the momentum it was already gaining before Shark Tank. So before I went on Shark Tank, I was already establishing a community. Shark Tank just skyrocketed that community. So for me, it was how did I capture my own community? How do I keep my core values and my morals and how I wanted to, run the company at the way I was already running it, but on a much larger scale. So that's where all the planning started coming in on figuring out, we need a roadmap. We need departmental budgets. We need to do cost analysis. There was too many opportunities and too many things from the Shark Tank rush that happened all at once. It was very difficult to sort everything and navigate through it. And, I'm very blessed and fortunate, and I'm not complaining about that, but that's growing pains, right? When you have any type of success, you can either hit it head on and figure out and work through everything and pivot and muddle through and come out stronger on the other end with a lot of education, or you can hit that brick wall and continue to go on that hamster wheel until either you burn out or your product is not relevant anymore. So that was something I did not want to happen with the loyal community that we had already established.
Right. So now you're running, right? You've got your community going, you've got a lot of sales, now you're hiring people, you're really truly getting a business. You must have hit some roadblocks, right? Because it's never that easy. You have obstacles you have to overcome. So what happens on those days when you sit down and you go, what did I just do?
They happen. So for me, it's balance. I got really sick the first 2 years, a bug bite thing with all of this madness, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate. Your brain sometimes works harder and doesn't communicate with your body. So when you're thinking too quickly and you have all these ideas and you can execute on them and they'll work because you've seen it on a smaller scale, a lot of times our brains will force our bodies to do things our bodies can't keep up with. So subsequently, I ended up having to have a few surgeries because I wasn't taking care of myself, which forced me into creating a balance if I wanted to continue to be a successful CEO, mother, and business owner, and continue to grow the brand. And we've done a phenomenal job at hiring, structuring departments, creating, like I was saying, a lot of SOPs, which are standard operating procedures. There's a lot of delegation that has to happen when you're scaling a business, which is really critical. And just to answer your question, Chris, right when I started getting all of that put together, we got a Shark Tank update.
Yeah. So
and
just so when you thought you can exhale.
So that essentially, that put me down another roadblock, right? Because now it's like, okay, we have another opportunity here after we had just gotten our bearing and our feet, after we had just gone through a season, after airing on Shark Tank, after we had just started bringing in a team. So the biggest obstacles I would say were teaching and relaying my exact vision that was working on a smaller scale to a large team and orchestrating everything all together. When you know it all in your head, it's very simple to know common sense wise what's right and what's wrong. But when you're teaching a team, they don't know, they're not living in your head. They don't know all the different puzzle pieces. So as a CEO and an effective leader, it's important for you to be relaying that information, communicating that information, and getting your team on the same page as you, not only to create a culture so they can work with you as a team so everybody can hit their goals, but to also, work towards a common goal, right? A lot of my team members here have professional goals that we incorporate in their KPIs. So the fit and the culture has to be right. I would say that was probably the biggest obstacle we faced after going from my garage to scaling up to where we're at today.
I listen to you talk at the CEO level. It amazes me from someone who had no background in that, right? To listen to you now talking about KPIs and process and standard
operating procedures. It's weird how much you can learn.
You hired a Lean Six Sigma guy. I mean, this stuff melts my heart, because honestly, you don't hear this. I just posted something yesterday about good leadership. And to me, the benchmark for me running a $180 million company at BMW was when I left, how did the plant run? Because it should run seamlessly without me. And that means you have the right people, right? You've hired the right people. You've trained them correctly.
They're motivated. They're working for you.
The culture's right. They are accountable, and everybody really gels. And it's funny because we still talk about these teams that I had. I'm one of my colleagues now is he runs basically all of the BMW plants around the world, and he still tells me it goes back to his foundation and when we were together. And so I when I hear you talk about these things, it absolutely melts my heart.
Thank you.
Don't usually hear that from.
Well, and I want people to know, right? I'm not even an inventor. So anybody truly can take any type of existing product or something that needs the awareness and establish a brand. You can be self-taught. I'm living proof of it. I don't have a 4-year degree. I started this out of a passion, right? No idea where it was going to go. No idea where my entrepreneurial journey was going to take me. But you can learn. And if you're passionate about something, it motivates you to do your own self-research. So I encourage everybody, if you're not happy with what you're doing the wrong thing. You should want to work towards something or work towards a goal or have a vision or see it. If you start forcing it, it's time to pivot. It's time to figure out, maybe this isn't the right way to go down. Maybe I need to pivot. Maybe I need to find something else that's up my alley. Maybe I'm doing something incorrectly and I need a, second set of eyes on a process that I'm doing incorrectly. There's a lot of reasons entrepreneurs get stuck, but I think the most important thing is to recognize it. And a lot of people don't. It's not talked a lot about, hey, if it's not working, you should stop and look at 20 other alternatives to see if there's a better way. And to add one further, utilize your team who's in the trenches, doing it every day, living and breathing it, and get their feedback. You want to be able to trust your team to bring you those insights saying, hey, we're noticing a shift in the market. What about this? AI is now becoming relevant. How can we incorporate that in our business model? Data is so huge in businesses. If you're not using data to some capacity in a business, you're making a mistake, in my honest opinion, because no matter what business you run, data doesn't lie. So there's ways to set things up to give you more insight that can make you better at your job or see where the issues are coming in if you're using it properly.
Well, Chris, who are we interviewing here? This girl's good, right?
She's become a real professional. I was going to say, because the company takes the look of their CEO. It really does. And look how passionate. Every time we talk, this is not like a one-off. Every time I talk to Kelley or see her in person, she's incredibly passionate about everything she does. And now after visiting her facility, you can see why she's successful. She's put great people, great systems in place. And that's what creates this culture, right? It's a can-do, proactive culture. When they see her working her butt off, they're going to work just as hard. And it becomes that environment that you can thrive and grow in. And so when I see you now, Kelley, it's hard for me to even believe that you have never done this before.
Yeah, I get that, but then I always think back to common sense, right? And if you think about common sense, if back to elementary school during team building projects, right? If you want everybody to work together, you're always going to have a leader. There's always somebody that's going to just kind of take the reins. But it's a team. You have a critical role. 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 Without one of those critical roles, the operation does not work. And my team knows that. So they're valued, because if they don't contribute their piece and they're not owning it, which gives them ownership, which is motivating for them, right? I don't like to micromanage. I like them to own and evolve and bring me the ideas since they're in there. If I throw them tidbits, that's just a bonus. But my team really, has their own goals. And one of the things we do here is we do something as simple as take surveys. Like, what is your next benefit you want to see rolled out, right? I could pick them all day long what I think would be right. But if they want, a daycare center one day, right? And that's important to 90% of my staff. Maybe that's a benefit we look at over another benefit that I might have thought, because again, we're building a culture and we want our team to be happy to come to work and feel like they're growing in their professional career and they have opportunity.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer of the whole, I know what I'm good at. I know what my real strengths are and where I should spend my time. And on my weaknesses, I make sure that my team that's their strength, right? So
you nailed it.
And I'm telling you, when you do that, like, you achieve milestones you never thought were possible. And even your people, your team, can't believe that they're achieving levels that they could have not ever thought of. So I agree with you on all of that. And I think evolving them and making the team part of your decisions brings a complete culture, a positive culture.
They're part of this. They're part of this.
Absolutely.
I cannot grow the business without my team. So they're coming up with me, right? So I'm building them up with me because I know I can't do it. I came from nothing. My husband and I shared one car. I sold my house to move into a rental house. So what do I have to lose? Everybody that's surrounding me and helping me on my entrepreneurial journey I'm creating win-wins for everybody, because, this opportunity was presented to me, and any type of success you have, I feel it's so critical to give back and help the next generation or other people who are struggling. If you know something, tell them. You don't have to keep everything so industry secretive, and there should be things talked about more. And that's why I was so intrigued by your conversation at the beginning with this new company and this new entity, because there needs to be a reliable resource and hub for people that they can trust, that they don't feel like they're getting sold something all the time. They just need reliable information, right? And what opportunities, and understand there's no one size fits all in business. So somebody selling you a service is going to be selling that exact same service to 50 other people. So sometimes it's best to create a custom solution within your own organization and utilize vendors based off of what your company and works for your company.
Yeah, my greatest excitement is seeing others succeed. I mean, I've always felt that way, right? Even in corporate America, watching somebody grow in a company that never thought they could achieve. I mean, we had sports teams, and we didn't even go out and recruit talent. We used our talent in the plants, and we were ranked first in the state of South Carolina. We did things that, and then you brought it back to the plant. We had parties, and people were just like, "Oh my God, how do I become part of that?"
Yeah,
so much fun. So let's talk about some of your accolades. You've done a lot of work. The View, the Doctors, the shows, People Magazine. Talk about that a little bit. I see you at all these meetings where you're getting awards. I mean, that's got to be an amazing feeling to know you've worked so hard and now you're getting recognized.
It feels weird. I'm a pretty modest person, so the spotlight has been a challenge for me. Even though I seem very extroverted, internally I'm introverted. My happy place is in my home with my husband playing video games. So the spotlight has been something that I've had to learn. I thank my mom for all the acting classes she forced me to take when I was little. No, it's very genuine. I'm a real person. I am probably one of the most blunt people. Sometimes it gets me in trouble because I don't lie and I just tell it how it is. So if I see something, I'll say it, right? If I think there's a better way, you don't have to listen. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm going to offer my suggestion, right? That's who I am.
That you're the woman version of me.
Yeah, I always joke with you on that,
yeah,
Chris.
I'm exactly
to be honest with
way.
you, I can't help it. It comes out, and sometimes it can come out harsh, but then there's usually facts that I back it with and explain why. And this is not a one size fits all. This is an idea. This person has an idea. This person has an idea. Collectively figure out what the best idea is for your business. So
and not for nothing, but outside of your team, you have an amazing intellectual husband who I really, really love.
Thank you.
He's just a smart smart
That's
individual. You got two
He's
beautiful,
also,
beautiful
yes,
children.
thank
Oh my
you.
God, I still can't. I mean, they were just when I met them, I was telling Brandy, like, it's just absolutely adorable, you know.
Thank
And
you.
your mom seems to be like this really cool,
She's amazing,
right?
yeah.
Hardcore business person, which
Yeah.
I mean, so you got some good people surrounding you as well, which is
With
equally
a
as
good
important.
mix. And what's ironic and unique about our business, you know, working with family is never easy. It still isn't easy, right? You have to really set strong boundaries. You have to understand where you fit within your company, the crossover that happens. And, you know, with us at this level, and, you know, my husband being the COO, me being the CEO, and my mother being the president, and us all having completely opposite, you know, background and job experience, we have to have, you know, people in between us to make sure that the communications get cleared and we're not directly fighting or arguing or disagreeing on something. There's process for everything. So when you cut out the guessing or the opinions, or, you know, now it's collaboration. We have a process for collaboration. Everybody's entitled to their verbiage, and then collectively we come up with the best solution with multiple people involved. And that's worked really well for us. And I think a lot of companies need to use the collaboration in their own team, because they're the ones in the trenches half the time, really living and breathing their departments and their portions, and their feedback is invaluable. So if you're making decisions, business decisions, without consulting with your own team, sometimes that can, you know, put you in really hot water.
Absolutely. Wow. So all this enormous success, I was going to ask you, what's next? What's next for the bug bite thing?
Yeah, so bug bite thing is going to continue to grow. We have a new product launching this year. I can't leak it yet, but stay tuned. It's coming. It's very exciting. And our goal is to just continue to educate people that there's chemical-free options that are super helpful, you know, over creams, over chemicals. Our suction tool retails for $10. It's completely reusable. We're Amazon's #1 best-selling product for insect bite relief, with over almost 80,000 reviews. And we offer a 100% money-back guarantee. So our goal is to do that across the pipeline for any product that's going to continue to keep you enjoying the outdoors bug-free, or indoors bug-free, keeping your pets bug-free in a safe, organic, natural way.
Wow. Awesome.
Tom, I don't know how we're going to top this interview.
It's a great first episode.
You guys are so kind. I don't know what to say.
Real quick, Kelley, I want to just ask you, I know that, you know, we're running low on time, but still, as the Shark Tank effect, and I know you don't think you are, but I talked to some people locally in your town and things in that sense. You've become somewhat of a local, if not regional, celebrity, if you want to say, with not only Shark Tank, but also what you do with the community around you. Talk a little bit about how the community has embraced you, what the local governments are want to do with you, and things like that. Because it is amazing. You're not just turning into and have been this businesswoman that is just blowing it out, but you're also now jumping in and helping out the community around you, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah. So one of the things I discovered from running and growing Bug Bite Thing was my passion, again, in helping other entrepreneurs and preventing them from making the same mistakes as I did. In addition to that, really getting in at even the high school level for some of these kids at crossroads, figuring out, do I get myself into student debt for something I'm not as passionate about? What route do I have? What options are out there for me to be successful? I have a niche to start my own business. How do I get started? So it's become a passion for me. So I've partnered with a lot of local organizations. I'm very involved with my Economic Development Center of Port St. Lucie here. We just won, the state of Florida has recognized us as a second stage company now, which is very exciting. So their goal is to keep their support in our court so we can continue to grow on the trajectory we're on, and with our forecasting, help us find real estate as we grow, to keep us in our local city. And, you know, to answer your question, it's weird, you know, having people recognize me. I was just at an event at Career Sports, and I had all these children know exactly who I was. I had a line out the door. People wanted autographs on Bug Bite things, signing books. And I'm like, I'm not this important, guys. Like, that's genuinely what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, Roy Grenier, my business partner, is that important. I'm not that important, but I do need to start understanding that the things that I say are really resonating with people. And it's important for me to keep being blunt and spilling my guts and, bringing modern business to, reality, right? There's a lot of people that use outdated practices. They're not using data. They're not using social media. They don't know how to. And that doesn't mean you can't have a successful business if you don't know how to do something. That goes back to Chris. You hire around your weaknesses and have a smart enough sense to know that, hey, I may not be the best person to sit down and post on social media. Whereas if I hired somebody, that frees me up to land this, and this, and this, which is going to generate more revenue for the business. So just really having an understanding of your direction, your goals, your company goals, your team members' goals. Do you want to stay a one-man show? Do you want to be a global business? That's the joy of being an entrepreneur. You can create whatever you want, and your company can be structured around what you want, right? I don't miss my daughter's field trips. I drive them to school every day. My schedule reflects around that. Those are the critical things for me. So my children don't feel like I'm absent. We figure out little quirks and ways when I have to travel so they feel excited and not like mom has to leave again. So, you get creative as you grow and you figure out solutions that work for you and your family.
Tell you, this is all great information. I'm telling you, I'm so excited to hear every time I speak with you how much you've grown, how well the company is run, and actually being there now, knowing you have a Lean Six Sigma guy on your staff. Oh my God.
Yes. And if you don't know what that is a great thing to look up when you're making your first hire. That would be one of my recommendations, because when you're building out infrastructure, you need somebody with that type of skill set to keep you out of hot water and everything clean and transparent and growing at the proper pace. Absolutely. And so I'm excited to see what's next. And we're excited as a group to see what's coming from all of us and over the summer and at all our national shows. So check out what Kelley's doing. Continue to watch what we're doing at the national shows, because Kelley's been so great to be part of the team there, to give positive feedback to inventors who, don't want to make a mistake, right? And who better to learn from folks that have done it and become extremely successful. So Carmine, I think we hit a home run on this one.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm sitting here writing down all these notes. I know this stuff and I'm still taking notes. I'm like, this is great.
I always take notes. I can always learn. I'm always taking notes.
I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm taking damn notes. Kelley, you're awesome. This is so good.
You guys are so sweet and kind. I really appreciate it. My light just turned off too. Sorry.
You know what's great, Kelley, is what you're doing. You're giving people the information they need, and you're allowing them to make the decisions as they need to make them. A lot of times people jump into business. They need to decide if they want to be a one-man show. They think they need to decide, do I want to be a one-man show or a $500 million company? You're like right there. And they don't. They can make mistakes. They can recover. They can fix things. And that's what I love about how you're giving this advice.
And what you just said nailed it. So let me just end with this. I thought Bug Bite Thing was going to be a side hobby business where I sold it at bake sales and I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. And now, fast forward 4 short years later, I'm running a 15,000 square foot warehouse. I've got a line of products coming out. We've got a celebrity partner. We're in over 35,000 retail locations and growing, and we're branching globally. So you never know where your journey is going to take you. If you're smart and you learn to pivot at the right times, you can have whatever direction you want to go.
Yeah. And this is where I say, did we just become best friends?
if I had a good
from Step Brothers,
if I had a good microphone, I'd just drop it right here. This is awesome.
You're so funny. Anyway, you guys are so funny. I can't with you.
I love it. So great. It's so great. And you know what? Not to be mean, Kelley, or say it in the wrong way. And you could still be a stay-at-home mom if you want to be. That's what's cool.
100%. And you know what? I'm building it to a level to where it can be self-sustainable, so I can even have more time with my children for vacations and things. So that you literally create your own destiny as an entrepreneur. And I want people to know there's nobody out there controlling this up the ranks. You can control it how you want. And
can't stop smiling. You make me smile.
there's organizations out there that can help you get to what level you want to get to, and you can change the level you want at any time. It's your business.
Blows me away. None of this was your training, and listen to you talk now. I feel like I've known you forever, and you are running the business the way it should be run.
Well,
absolutely love it.
Appreciate that very much.
Congratulate you on that. That's amazing.
Yeah. If Chris wasn't on here, I'd start crying.
Oh, it's a lot of hard work. I've had many nights of crying from just burning myself out. So it is not for the faint of heart. I will say that. Start slow. Remember, entrepreneurs' brains go a million miles an hour. Take it in bite-sized pieces, because your brain will literally burn your body out faster and you will not have success. So you have to take it in bite-sized pieces.
Yep. Very good. All right. All right. With that, we are going to close up this awesome first episode of the Shark Tank Effect. Now, this is really the Shark Tank Effect. If you question how this has affected not only Kelley, her family, the world, and people that were suffering from all kinds of bug bites and things in that sense, then you got the wrong show, guys. The Shark Tank Effect is real. It's serious, and you got to listen to it here. Make sure you download the show, subscribe, follow Kelley on her exploits around social media. She's awesome. Her team is awesome. And we love talking with her. For myself, Carmen Denisco, for Kelley Higney and Christopher Guerrera, we thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time on the Shark Tank Effect.
Thank you, guys.
You all take care.